Passion Travel is a channel specializing in all things travel street food and subscribe. Callaloo Soup. A hearty soup made from dasheen leaves, similar to spinach, coconut milk, and various seasonings. Callaloo Soup is a popular and flavorful dish enjoyed in many Caribbean countries, including Dominica. It's made from callaloo leaves, which are similar to spinach or Swiss chard, and is often prepared with coconut milk and various seasonings. Here's a basic recipe for making delicious callaloo soup. Ingredients: 1 bunch of callaloo leaves. Substitute with spinach or Swiss chard if callaloo is not available. 1 can of coconut milk. 1 onion, chopped. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 to 2 Scotch bonnet peppers, adjust to your preferred level of spiciness. 1 to 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, coconut oil is commonly used. 2 to 3 sprigs of thyme. 2 to 3 pimento berries, allspice berries. Salt and pepper to taste. Water or vegetable broth, for consistency. Optional. Diced pumpkin or sweet potato, for added thickness and flavor. Instructions. Prepare the callaloo leaves. Wash the callaloo leaves thoroughly to remove any dirt or debris. Remove the tough stems and discard them, keeping the tender leaves. Chop the leaves into smaller pieces. Sauté aromatics. Heat the cooking oil in a large soup pot over medium heat. Add the chopped onions and minced garlic, and sauté until the onions become translucent and fragrant. Add spices and seasonings. Add the Scotch bonnet peppers, whole or sliced, depending on your desired level of spiciness, thyme sprigs, and pimento berries, allspice berries, to the pot. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Add callaloo leaves. Add the chopped callaloo leaves to the pot. If you're using diced pumpkin or sweet potato for added thickness, add them at this stage as well. Coconut milk. Pour in the can of coconut milk and stir to combine all the ingredients. Simmer and cook. Add enough water or vegetable broth to achieve your desired soup consistency. Cover the pot and let the soup simmer on low to medium heat for about 20 to 30 minutes, or until the callaloo leaves, and pumpkin or sweet potato, if added, are tender. Blend, optional. For a smoother texture, you can use an immersion blender to puree the soup. Be cautious when blending hot liquids, and allow the soup to cool slightly if needed. Adjust seasoning. Taste the soup and adjust the seasoning if necessary. You can add more salt, pepper, or spices according to your preference. Coconut drops. Coconut pieces cooked with sugar and spices to create sweet, chewy treats. Coconut drops are a delightful Caribbean sweet treat made from grated coconut, sugar, and spices. They are typically enjoyed as a dessert or snack and are known for their chewy and slightly crunchy texture. Here's how to make coconut drops. Ingredients: 2 cups of freshly grated coconut. You can use desiccated coconut if fresh is unavailable. 1 cup of granulated sugar. 1/4 cup of water. 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. A pinch of salt. Optional. Finely grated lime or lemon zest for added flavor. Instructions. Preheat and prepare. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper or lightly grease it to prevent sticking. Mix ingredients. In a mixing bowl, combine the freshly grated coconut, sugar, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. If you're using lime or lemon zest, add it now for extra flavor. Prepare sugar syrup. In a small saucepan, heat the water over medium heat. Add the granulated sugar and stir until it dissolves completely, creating a sugar syrup. Allow the sugar syrup to simmer for a few minutes until it thickens slightly. You don't need it to reach a specific temperature, just ensure it's slightly thicker than when you started. Combine ingredients. Pour the sugar syrup over the coconut mixture and stir to combine everything thoroughly. The mixture should be sticky and hold together. Shape and drop. Use a spoon to scoop portions of the coconut mixture onto the prepared baking sheet. You can shape them into small rounds or drop them irregularly for a rustic look. The name, coconut drops, comes from the way these sweet treats are dropped onto the baking sheet. Bake. Place the baking sheet in the preheated oven and bake for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the coconut drops turn golden brown. Keep an eye on them to prevent burning. Cool and store. Allow the coconut drops to cool on the baking sheet. They will harden as they cool. Once completely cooled, store them in an airtight container to maintain their freshness and texture. Serve and enjoy. Coconut drops can be served as a sweet snack or dessert. They are perfect for satisfying your sweet tooth with a delightful taste of the Caribbean. Coconut drops are a lovely way to enjoy the tropical flavor of coconut and the warm spices of the Caribbean. They make for a wonderful homemade treat and are great for sharing with friends and family. Fish and chips. Locally caught fish, usually fried, and served with fried plantains or cassava. Fish and chips is a classic and beloved dish that originated in the United Kingdom but has become popular in many countries, including the Caribbean. It typically consists of battered and deep-fried fish, often served with French fries, chips. In the Caribbean, you'll find variations of this dish with local flavors and spices. Here's a basic recipe for Caribbean-style fish and chips. Ingredients. For the fried fish, 1 pound of white fish fillets, such as snapper, grouper, or cod. 1 cup of all-purpose flour. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of Caribbean-style seasoning, or your preferred seafood seasoning. Salt and black pepper to taste. 1 cup of cold water. Cooking oil for frying, vegetable oil or canola oil works well. For the fries, chips. 2 to 3 large potatoes, peeled and cut into thick strips, fries. Salt to taste. Cooking oil for frying. For serving, lime or lemon wedges, tartar sauce or a spicy dipping sauce of your choice. Instructions. For the fried fish, prepare the fish. Rinse the fish fillets under cold water and pat them dry with paper towels. Season the fish fillets with salt, black pepper, and your preferred Caribbean-style seafood seasoning. You can also squeeze some lime or lemon juice over them for extra flavor. Make the batter. In a mixing bowl, combine the all-purpose flour, baking powder, a pinch of salt, and Caribbean-style seasoning. Gradually add the cold water while whisking to create a smooth and thick batter. The batter should be thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. Dip and fry. Heat the cooking oil in a deep fryer or a large skillet to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Dip each fish fillet into the batter, allowing any excess to drip off, and carefully place it in the hot oil. Fry the fish until it's golden brown and crispy, which usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes per side, depending on the thickness of the fillets. Use a slotted spoon to remove the fried fish from the oil and place them on a plate lined with paper towels to drain any excess oil. For the fries, chips. Prepare the potatoes. Peel the potatoes and cut them into thick strips to make fries, chips. Fry the potatoes. Heat cooking oil in a deep fryer or a separate skillet to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Carefully add the potato strips to the hot oil and fry until they are golden brown and crispy, about 3 to 4 minutes. Remove them from the oil and drain on paper towels. Pumpkin soup. A creamy soup made from pumpkin, coconut milk, and spices. Pumpkin soup is a comforting and flavorful dish enjoyed in many Caribbean countries, including Dominica. It's made from pumpkin, often called calabaza, in the Caribbean, and is typically seasoned with a blend of aromatic spices and coconut milk for a creamy and rich texture. Here's a basic recipe for making Caribbean-style pumpkin soup. Ingredients. 1 medium-sized pumpkin, calabaza, peeled, seeded, and cubed, about 4 to 5 cups. 1 onion, chopped. 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 to 2 carrots, chopped, optional. 1 to 2 potatoes, chopped, optional, for added thickness. 1 can of coconut milk, about 13.5 ounces. 4 cups of vegetable or chicken broth. 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice, pimento. Salt and pepper to taste. Cooking oil, e.g., coconut oil, for sautéing. Instructions. Prepare the pumpkin. Peel the pumpkin, remove the seeds, and cut it into cubes. You should have about 4 to 5 cups of cubed pumpkin. Sauté aromatics. Heat a large soup pot or Dutch oven over medium heat and add a little cooking oil. Add the chopped onion and minced garlic. Sauté until the onion becomes translucent and fragrant. Add vegetables. If using carrots and potatoes for added thickness, add them to the pot and sauté for a few minutes. Season with spices. Add the ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and ground allspice to the pot. Stir to coat the vegetables with the spices. Add pumpkin and coconut milk. Add the cubed pumpkin to the pot and stir to combine with the sautéed vegetables and spices. Pour in the can of coconut milk and stir well to create a creamy base. Simmer. Pour in the vegetable or chicken broth and bring the mixture to a boil. Reduce the heat to a simmer and cover the pot. Allow the soup to simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the pumpkin and other vegetables are tender. Blend, optional. For a smooth and creamy consistency, you can use an immersion blender to puree the soup. Be cautious when blending hot liquids and allow the soup to cool slightly if needed. Season and serve. Taste the soup and season with salt and pepper to your preference. Adjust the spices if necessary. Crab backs. Crab meat mixed with seasonings and served in crab shells. Crab backs, also known as crab backs or stuffed crab shells, are a delightful seafood dish commonly enjoyed in the Caribbean, including Dominica. This dish features crab meat mixed with various seasonings and aromatics, stuffed back into crab shells, and then baked to perfection. Here's a basic recipe for making Caribbean-style crab backs. Ingredients: 6 to 8 crab shells, cleaned and prepared. You can often find these at seafood markets. 1 pound of crab meat, fresh or canned, depending on availability. 1 onion, finely chopped. 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 bell pepper, green or red, finely chopped. 2 stalks of celery, finely chopped. 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, e.g., vegetable oil or olive oil. 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. 1/4 cup of fresh parsley, chopped. 1/4 cup of fresh breadcrumbs for topping, optional. Salt and black pepper to taste. Hot sauce, optional, for added heat. Lemon wedges, for serving. Instructions. Prepare the crab shells. If you're using fresh crab shells, clean and prepare them by removing any remaining crab meat and rinsing them thoroughly. Ensure they are clean and dry. Sauté aromatics. In a skillet, heat the cooking oil over medium heat. Add the chopped onion, minced garlic, bell pepper, and celery. Sauté until the vegetables become tender and aromatic. Mix the crab filling. In a mixing bowl, combine the sautéed vegetables, crab meat, breadcrumbs, grated Parmesan cheese, chopped parsley, and optional hot sauce, if desired. Season the mixture with salt and black pepper to taste. Be cautious with the salt, as crab meat can be naturally salty. Fill the crab shells. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius. Carefully stuff the crab mixture back into the cleaned crab shells, mounting it up on top. You can use a spoon to help pack the filling. Optional topping. If you like, sprinkle a layer of fresh breadcrumbs on top of each crab back for added texture and flavor. Bake. Place the stuffed crab shells on a baking sheet or in a baking dish. Bake in the preheated oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the crab backs are heated through and the tops are golden brown.